What is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is Robert. We're just vibing today, and yeah, thank you for tuning in to the show. And yeah, hopefully, I'm praying that everybody is staying cool from the heat. My gosh, we're still in the heat wave. It's yeah, I know. It's like I'm like not even inside my little booth behind me because I know that it is just like a sauna in there. So yeah, outside in my room, you know, perfect quality content. So today, we have somebody who is in their booth, and this is somebody who if I'm not mistaken, we connected through LinkedIn, which
We
is
did, we did.
yeah, yeah. So that's something that we'll definitely discuss and why it's such a really effective way of getting in touch with voice actors. But regardless, this is Stacy Berro. So thank you so much for joining me on today's little episode as we are just vibing in the midst of the summer heat. So yeah, just introduce and say what you got to say, and we'll just get the show on the road.
Okay, you got it, Robert. Yes, well, first of all, yes, I'm Stacy Berro, and I am a voice actor or actress, I should say, whatever. No pronouns there or however, no adjectives. And, yep, happy Pride. We're wearing our colors today, in
I have,
support. Woohoo!
yeah,
Just to be colorful because life is colorful. So we have to
bingo.
bring it to everything we do. We need to bring all of our colors. And yeah, I am in my booth today. What's funny, Robert, I wanted to show you. Let me reach over here. If it gets too warm. Now I don't do this when I'm recording, but it's funny.
Ah, the
There
little fans, yeah.
I'm a Spanish fan. Okay, this is totally, like, in the way if I'm gonna actually be working, but sometimes if I'm doing something and I'm just talking to people, I break out the fan.
Yeah,
And I love it.
I used to have like one of these little water sprays that you have, but
Yeah,
yeah, or like the little AC fans that people have in their booths.
uh-huh.
Um, because when it starts getting too hot, like after a take, then it's just like, oh, okay, let me just turn this thing on. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just crazy. And sometimes throughout the day, when it gets like super duper hot, which I'm probably gonna do by the time like after we finish recording. I don't know if the AC is gonna be turning on at some point, but in case it does, then you know what? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? You know what? This is our time to talk, and we're not actually, recording a commercial or something, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
not like
gosh.
this is like a live session or anything.
Exactly. I love it that, when we first talked, I was sitting at my desk, I believe,
It
and
was, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's such a different space.
Office.
It was very officey, and this is my world in here in this booth, and this is where the magic happens for me and my spirit, my life, and I just, get into all the characters. This is where it happens. And it's funny because yes, honestly, my studio is in my closet. As for many, many people out there, we do what we have to do, and it's amazing what a closet can become, or that I would spend so much time in my closet, which is so funny. Um, when I first started voiceover and I was building out this closet, my husband was so happy that what I wanted to do involved removing all these clothes and all the stuff from the closet and cleaning out the closet. He was like, "Oh my god, what's happening? Whatever you wanna do, I'm in." But, um, our booths and our studios, they're an evolution because in the beginning, you're not sure of all the things you might want or need, and then as you get going and through time, you change things around and everything. So, I used to have more moving blankets and all kinds of things like that to soundproof, and eventually I got these amazing squares, those acoustic squares that are foamy, and I cover the entire door because it's like a sliding door right here, like that. It's perfect. I mean, I just love it. I love it. Um, and I actually do a lot of my work standing up. So I have it rigged where all I have to do is just, move my mic, put this stool behind me, and I just stand up and prop up my laptop if I want to, see things, and it's so fun. You know, you just have such a different, incredible energy when you stand up. I love it.
That's pretty much what I'm doing right now.
I know you
That's what
are, and
I'm
I'm not.
doing. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I do when I'm recording. Like I always stand, and especially when it gets hot like this, you can just definitely feel yourself having like the workout of the
Uh-huh.
lifetime. So it's like after you hit the gym or before you go, I don't know how routines go when it comes to working out and stuff, but it's like when you're in the booth, it's like you're just kind of having like a second workout session. And you know what?
Yes.
It feels great,
Yes.
but at the same time, you're just kind of like, is it
Mhm.
wintertime? Yeah, because it's
Uh,
just, but you know what? It's good because, you know, when you're in the booth just physically sweating in there, because a lot of, so many VAs don't really realize that much of this performing is kind of like when you're up on the stage, or like if you're just, because I'm always just a physical actor. Like I'm always just somebody who is
yes.
like moving around, motions with the arms and everything is kind of pretty much what I'm doing right now, even as I'm speaking. So a lot of this work is, it can be pretty physically I don't want to say demanding, but it can be very taxing,
Uh-huh.
not just with your voice, but just your whole body, because you're just physically in the moment with your
Yes.
character. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Um, always, and I can't say I'm a geek that way because it's what we need to do and should do as actors
Yeah.
to get into it. Like I'll sit down like now and gather my thoughts or what have you, or I spent all last weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as part of I was a voice angel for an event put on by Get Mic'd. And it
Nice.
was UVOS. I don't know if you heard it or saw any of the posts, but UVOS Retreat number 3. This is a third one, and it's Ultimate VO Survivor. That's what UVOS, breaks down
Yeah.
to.
Get mic'd. Yeah. I
Mhm.
think I've submitted for it before. It was one time, I think.
Oh, yeah, they do a lot of they have a lot of,
Yeah, it's been so long.
stuff they do, and I actually have gotten to know, Chef Deb Monroe, as she's called,
Yeah.
through via radio. And then I realized I put 2 and 2 together, and one day I said to her, "You're Get Mic'd?" I didn't realize I was cracking up. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," because she made such an impression on me. I think when I first started voiceover, there was a Halloween contest of some kind that they were putting on, and I got this email, and I didn't know this is goofy. I'm a goofball. I didn't know it was Get Mic'd because I think it didn't have an apostrophe, and I for some reason, I thought it was, like, about McDonald's or, like, Get McD'd. Get McD'd. I'm gonna have to tell her that because I didn't get a chance to tell her how weird that was. So
Well, this will be up on YouTube,
I
so
know.
probably gonna
Oh my
know
god.
eventually.
Oh my gosh. So I emailed her and I said, um I don't think I said this right, or I don't know, but, and she communicated back to me, but she was so warm and personal. I'm like, wow, someone is taking the time to literally answer me and correspond with me in this personal way. And she heard my audition and all this stuff. And she said, yeah, it's Get Mic'd. And, who'd have thought later on I'd actually meet her and we'd be friends on VO radio and everything else. So even now, I attended one of her events and it was a really big deal. A lot of people went to Canada. It was this big thing and it looked like so much fun, but I'm so happy that there was a virtual option because I can't go to Canada right now and there's so many, neat things to do with showcases and all these events that happen and it makes it so easy to participate if they have a virtual option, you know. So that's what I did and it was so cool. And so I'm coming back to what we were talking about. I spent a lot of time in my booth here. And as I was watching other performers and waiting for my turn to do one of the scripts and everything, I would sit down here like this and then I would like put my little picture up and turn my camera off for a second, and then set up and stand up and it looks like I'm preparing for something. And I thought they're going to think I'm weird, but I got to move, like I got to get ready I'm moving around, I'm getting loose, and and also when I perform, I really use my hands, and you should, because you're pretending or, you know, making it as real as you can that you're showing someone or pointing and doing all the things you would do if you were really talking to somebody in some kind of conversation. So, um, you just gotta get into it.
Yeah, you gotta have to, man.
Um, so in talking about that retreat, that was really, really cool. And like I said, it was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And we worked on like a promo script and we got to pick an e-learning and explainer script, um, animation, a commercial, um, some other things. But it was so neat because they had different famous well-known people in the VO industry that I've heard about, and some I've met and some I hadn't, and some agents, some directors, coaches, mentors, the whole thing, and different groups of them. And we'd work with them on these scripts, and that was so neat. And where you really learn so much is to hear the other talent. So watching them perform, that's the beauty of the Zoom, which normally we work and no one's watching us. But in these circumstances, you do get to see the physicality of it for the people. And, in Canada, they would come up to the mic and I could see them perform. And then us voice angels, there was like 11 of us or whatever. Um, then we'd watch each other. And then you get to hear the feedback for everybody. And that was neat. That was really neat. I learned so much. Just great energy.
Yeah, that must have been so much fun, and it
Mhm.
must have been a great learning experience.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's kind of twofold because you learn so much from hearing the experts and the people with so much experience tell you things and also give advice to the other people. And just by hearing other people, it's like um they're auditioning for you too. That's how it feels because you want them to do well, but you hear the different things and how it flows and did they grab you and what would you do differently? Or what do you like? What do you don't like? What grabs you? Um and another one I participated in this year so far. This is my year for doing that, by the way. These are kind of newer for me. And it's so neat because a lot of these never used to be virtual, and now they are. So it's kind of a newer thing for them too. But Nevo, the New England voiceover event that was put on by MCVO, um, that was in May. And, that had a neat panel of all kinds of different people, casting directors, veteran voice people, agents, and that type of thing. And we prepared scripts ahead of time and then went through one by one and were able to perform for them and get feedback. So again, same scenario. We learned so much by getting to see all the actors and voice actors and then hear the feedback that these people gave to them, and then, of course, the feedback they gave to us, so it's so neat, and it also makes you realize what a community we have, so it puts a face to the name. So neat. Um, Another thing that I mentioned for a second when I was talking about Deb Monroe is VO Radio, and have you heard of VO Radio?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Have you ever listened to it?
The VO radio, I've okay, so I've heard of the VO radio. Is it kind of like I can't really say that I'm very familiar with it, but now I've got something to listen to after we finish this.
Yes.
That's a good
It
resource. Yeah.
it is a good
I like it.
resource. Okay, so, it was founded by Anthony Reese, casting director Anthony Reese, and he's
Yeah,
a
yeah, 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 yeah.
oh,
Anthony.
have you
Yeah.
I know you've seen he posts all the time on
Dude,
LinkedIn.
I've seen him
Seriously?
everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, he's everywhere. He does a lot of things. He has vo101.com. And then he created this amazing, platform for the voiceover community, but really it's for really, so many industries overlap. It's not just for voiceover, but, there's again a lot. of, here's that term, industry experts and coaches and mentors, and then regular voiceover people like me, yours truly, your fellow VO, um, all together just talking about what we go through on a daily basis. But we have topics, and we have a live show every Monday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we talk about stuff, and you just don't get to hear this type of wisdom or these golden nuggets of information just like that. It's like a whole hour of talking, but the whole station is geared toward just a positive vibe, like keeping it positive while the voiceover community is trying to do their thing all day long. It's 24/7, it's streaming. Um it There's different features that we do. I have a feature called Top of Mind, and it's really all about whatever is literally on the top of my mind as a fellow VO person, just different things that I encounter, and I'll talk about it for like 5 minutes or something. And so they play on there. You've got several minutes of music, a feature, this and that, and then the live shows, and it's so cool. And we even on the live shows, we have people, if you go on the VO radio website, you can actually, there's the audition underground. And so you can get the scripts off the site, submit your audition, and if we pick you, we can, critique you in a positive way and give you constructive criticism on the air on the show if we pick you. So that's neat. All kinds of stuff. It's just incredible. But what's wild is I consider myself like a teenager in voiceover years because I'm not like a newbie. I didn't start yesterday, but I don't have 30 years behind me or 10 years like a lot of people do. I'm right there in the Goldilocks zone with a lot of people. You know what I mean? So my take on things or the things that I have questions about, maybe those who have been doing it forever forgot about that, or maybe they don't encounter that in their everyday. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, what is something that has kind of helped you over time? Like when it comes to, you're doing a lot of this VO work, but what is something
Mhm.
that you've kind of been getting into as of late? Like, or just at least a little bit, something fun that you kind of dabbled a little bit into as of late on,
Okay.
of just keeping up the balance and just juggling everything on top. So I think that I just kind of combined two questions into one. So what's something that you've been, partaking in as of late, and how do you balance everything?
Okay. Well, one way that I balance everything, and sometimes I don't have a choice. We have 6 dogs. So,
Wow.
6 big dogs. Yeah, they're all German
Big.
Shepherds.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
goodness.
they're really big, except for, well, almost all German Shepherds. One is a German Shepherd Husky mix, and then 2, I don't know what they are, but, they're not German Shepherds, but all these dogs are so crazy and wonderful and a huge part of our life. They each have their own personality, and, it's just so amazing. They're indoor, outdoor. Of course, you couldn't have 6 and, not have a way for them to leave the house as they need to. So, we have a big kind of desert part of the backyard that they're able to go back there and come in and out, and they're just so cute. They're so cute, and, that gives me balance. Just there's a constant there. I think doing normal things makes you feel normal. That's my belief, and they keep it grounded for me and normal because there's always something that needs to happen for them. They need to eat. There's something going on, some dynamic. They need something. They need attention. It's just wonderful. It just makes my everyday. So that gives me balance. Um, and as far as like what piques my interest these days, um, the funny thing, since the pandemic, we've been working on our house like a lot of people, you know. I'm not alone in that, but um we have a house that's from like 1980 maybe, and a lot of our house projects um begin because something broke. And then we end up making a thing of it, you know? Um but we've remodeled our kitchen. Like, I didn't know this was possible, and my husband's very, very handy, which helps. It just depends if he's in the mood to do something, but literally, we replaced our stovetop. I know that sounds funny, but it changed the whole kitchen, like, to one with more burners and all this stuff, and, it just changed the whole thing, and, our house is kind of like I wish I could show you. I can't show you because it's too problematic to get out of the booth, but it's almost like an Italian deli. Uh, we spend all of our time almost in the kitchen with the dogs, and my husband loves to cook. So, it's a prerequisite that I love to eat and that I do the dishes. Which, okay, I'm good. So, during the pandemic, we started stocking up on products because everyone did, right? You know, just different things. So, a lot of those things were cans of tomatoes, extra flour, whatever we need to cook with, jars of olives, um, jars of pepperoncinis, uh, all kinds of fun stuff like that, pasta. So, we have this one room, we call it the country kitchen, with all these different shelves, and instead of oddball decorative things like cookbooks or I don't know, stuff that was there, antiques, we started putting these food products, and it looks so cute. So, it's functional, but it looks cute, and it looks like an Italian deli. It's so cool. It's so cool, I'm serious. Yeah. So, that's one thing, and we put in a, an outdoor pizza oven sometime during the whole pandemic or after the pandemic outside. So, we literally I mean, it's serious. It was like, I'm not kidding, 1,800 pounds. Yes, we didn't know this, but they called us up and said, "You need to make sure you have some way to move this from our truck to where you're gonna put it." We're like, "What are you talking about?" We had to call a moving company, and they had a baby crane, and they lifted into the spot, and it's so cool. So, there's a lot of amazing food happening in our house. That's my hobby. That's like a everyday hobby, and the dogs don't mind. That was a big
600.
story. That was a big story. No,
Yeah, you're
1,800
saying,
pounds. It was
oh,
not 600,
1800. Yeah,
1,800.
big. You're talking big and you're saying 18.
Yeah. Yeah. We're serious, not just a little pizza oven. Isn't that cute? Nah, it's
Nah, you gotta
serious.
go big. You
Yeah,
gotta go even further beyond, man.
and I have to say, I don't really know how to use it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I always, like, observe, but then I forget immediately right after. But, it takes all day practically to get that thing up to temperature, and that's one thing my husband has more than me. He has patience when it comes to the cooking or doing those things. He's in it for the long haul. So it takes hours and hours and special things you do to get that pizza oven heat and temperature just right, and, yeah, it's a
So,
whole event. It's an event.
man, that is
Did I make you
insane.
hungry? Did I make you hungry?
You just did. But I think to wrap this up, like, what is
Yeah.
something that is because I think we talked a little bit about like because you just like the color pink, and I know that helps so much with your branding and everything.
Oh.
So, I guess for getting your name out there in the business, you mentioned the Get Mic'd competition and everything. So, what else would you say was very instrumental in helping you just navigate the industry and just navigating through just the day-to-day life or the day-to-day struggles and just doing your own thing
Mhm.
and just really finding your own unique voice, so to speak?
Again, it is such an evolution,
Yeah.
and you can't give up. All those no's that you get, and you're going to get no's for 1,000 different reasons, and I wanna say that it's not about you. It may be if you didn't do something right. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you can do everything right. You can follow directions. You can be trained. You can. label your file perfectly, exactly the way that they asked, and you can be on time. You can be incredible. But for some reason, what you sound like is not what they're looking for, or they've already found what they're looking for, whatever it is. Um, it's not about you, and you can't take it personally. You have to just put your head down and keep going. And no basically means not right now. That's what it means. Um, training. Training is important because training and community, those two things have really helped me, and they continue to help me. And I feel just more convicted every single day as I think about it. Because when in the beginning, you kind of obsess and focus on, maybe it starts with your equipment. Do I have what I need? What do I need to be able to do voiceover? So you look up everything you can on YouTube and you talk to people and all this stuff. And my advice is definitely look at everything that you can, but take it with a grain of salt because there's a lot of advice out there. So listen to everything, but look for the common thread. And that, there's a lot of really good information out there, and there's a lot of people just talking just to talk. But training is important because trainers, coaches, and mentors will give you the foundation that you need to give you confidence to know you're doing the right things um, for certain types of scripts, that you sound the way you need to sound, and yes, that you have the right equipment and all those things. And they'll give you some guidelines and some structure just so you know you're on the right path. But it doesn't stop. It's just that you evolve. So your trainers and mentors and the things that you do, those things will evolve too. And then you realize, for me, especially being part of VO Radio, I realized the community that's out there because I knew they were kind of there, but I would just see posts and people and I don't know. But now I get to see them on Zoom and hear their voices. And then we share all this information on VO Radio. And everybody gets to be part of the community and realize, oh my gosh, everybody experiences the same types of things every single day, even people who have been doing it for so long. And it's such a relief to know that. So, training and community.
Yep, the two big ones. And for content creation, because I know you post so many videos on Facebook and Instagram, so just talk a little bit about like the process of making these, or just, I don't know, like with content creation, when did you decide, like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna make some videos about stuff and
Oh my
just
gosh.
help out?
Oh my gosh. That's a good question. And no one's asked me that before. But
So
oh
I
my
got
gosh,
the
that was
first.
so good.
Yeah, so at least now I've got the, oh wow, nobody has asked me that before. I'm the first one. Haha.
You are. And you know what? That's an important question for me because to put yourself out there like that is such a bold move, you know? To put yourself out and you have to not care what people think, but think of your message. It's bigger than me. What do I want to share? What do I want to say? And honestly, in my phone, the notepad in your phone, I several times a day I am just it looks like I'm texting all the time. I'm not. I'm writing on my notepad in the phone because whenever I have an idea, I don't want to forget it. And I might, I might forget it. So I'm always with a little icon of the light bulb. These are all ideas of things that I want to say that I could post about. So as I'm doing something, collaboration is on my mind. This is what we're doing right now. What is just a little something that I could say about collaboration? What am I feeling? Every single post that I've done is something that I'm honestly thinking about or feeling at that moment, or I can't do it. I might I might think of different ideas and write them down, but usually it's kind of just spur of the moment a little bit so I can capture that thought in the way that I want to in the most natural way possible. And you get used to it. So I wasn't on any social media, maybe personally, like a little bit, family pictures, whatever. And so um, I created, voiceovers by Stacy. I'm on Facebook, X, Instagram, but all of that mirrors what I do on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is So incredible. I had no idea. I thought LinkedIn was this sleepy site from corporate people from the 80s and 90s. No. Mm-mm. In the entertainment industry and many other industries, people are very active, very supportive. I was just blown away and surprised, and I realized that I didn't know how to navigate LinkedIn. So I sought out marketing myself on LinkedIn through the training of Corey Disson. Have you heard of him? You've seen him. I know
Very
you've seen
familiar.
him.
Everywhere. He's also
Yeah,
everywhere.
he's awesome. And that training, because I realized, oh my God, my background is in marketing. I went to school for marketing at Cal State Long Beach. Does it matter for my voiceover? I don't know. All of a sudden, I was like, I've done marketing for other people, but when it's me personally, I'm actually marketing, oh my gosh, my voice, my face, or who I am. Like, it just tripped me up and I didn't know what to do. And I also knew nothing about LinkedIn and social media for something like this. I mean, I had an idea and maybe somebody could help me, but I'm a firm believer of just because you can do something yourself doesn't mean you should. So I didn't want to spend all this time where I should be doing my voiceover and training and just putting myself out there. I didn't want to waste all that golden time trying to figure out exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And maybe I'm wrong, because again, there's a lot of information on YouTube and everything else about marketing yourself on social media. And it was just like too much. And LinkedIn was different on top of that. So, um, I learned from Corey to make sure that my profiles match across the board and make sure to, be consistent with your postings and things like that, so that was the biggie to be consistent. So I post a couple times a week, 2, maybe even 3 times. I mean what I say. It's not always about voiceover. It could be something positive, but it's some things are personal, but not off topic of being professional. It's just, what happens to me as I'm doing things and what works for me. It all ties into to what I do for voiceover somehow. Mhm.
Yeah, this is all pretty solid advice. So I just wanted to thank you so much for sharing that. And I guess we'll just wrap this up in the next part. So if you're enjoying this so far, leave a like and comment, all that YouTube mumbo jumbo, and I'll see y'all in the conclusion. So until
Yay!
then, yeah, until then, I'll catch you all in the next one, and ta-ta.
Bye.
Hey, so we're just about wrapping up today's interview. So, Stacy, thank you so much for joining me. I would love to have you on again in the future, but for now, you've already listed off your social media, where you're mainly active on. So I'll just definitely include those and your website and everything. So this, you should probably find all of these by the time this goes up. But any last closing thoughts? Any last words you'd like to say to the audience before we skedaddle for the day?
Just keep going. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. Keep doing it and give it everything you've got. Have fun with it. So it's your time. When you're no matter what you're performing, whatever you're doing, just keep going. Love it. Love every part. Love every little moment of it.
Amen, amen. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you've already shared everything that you need to share, like projects, socials. Would you like to do the outro that I usually do for the podcast?
Um, what would you like me to do?
Oh, yeah, you could just say, "Hi, my name is Stacy Berro. I'm a voiceover artist, da da da, and this is Station Square with Robert Jackson."
And you said that so fast. Would you say wait, 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 with Robert Jackson,
Sorry.
would you say?
Yeah, my name is Stacy. I'm a voice actress. You've heard me in da 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 da, and
Oh,
this is Station Square podcast with Robert Jackson.
okay, great. I have had so much fun today. This is Stacy Berro, and I've been part of this amazing podcast with Robert Jackson called Station Square.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely use that for the outro, whatever, thingamajig. So, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and stay tuned, stay cool, and definitely stay safe and sane. And happy 4th of July early in advance. So, thank you so much, and happy Pride Month once again, and take it easy, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye for now.
Toodaloo. Bye.
Toodles.